One victim statement from Josh Duggar's trial never made headlines like it should have. Joshua Duggar's trial was full of previously unknown information about his crimes and personal life, including one notable victim statement. By now, anyone who has ever heard of the Duggar family knows the nature of the oldest son Joshua Duggar's alleged crimes. Duggar was convicted of possession of inappropriate material depicting children, but that wasn't his only offense. Josh is also said to have assaulted some of his younger siblings while he was still a minor himself. Over time, it's become clear that the Duggars may have more power than anyone thought, because of the simple fact that they hid Josh's apparent criminal behavior from not only their family, but the public as well. More details came out than anticipated during Josh's trial, however, including one powerful victim statement that was seemingly glossed over. Josh Duggar will spend over a decade in prison. Ages after the alleged assaults against his younger sisters, Josh Duggar was convicted of possessing inappropriate images of children on his work computer and was ultimately sentenced to over a decade in prison. The court case centered on the material that was found on Duggar's computer, but it's said that the court heard evidence of Josh's crimes from years earlier, too. Jim, Bob, and Michelle seem to admit that Josh had, in fact, assaulted his younger sisters multiple times, both while they were asleep and awake, even though some of the siblings were seemingly unaware of the extent of the abuse until the court hearing. One sad moment during the trial, when Joy Anna Forsyth, one of Josh's younger sisters, apparently heard details of the crimes committed against her, shed light on just how troubled the family situation was. It was clear from the details of his past that Josh Duggar was acting criminally since he was a young teenager, but the conviction finally put him behind bars at a Texas prison. Although it's said that Josh Duggar admitted his earlier crimes to police after his parents learned what he had been doing, he was not arrested at that time. It took years for him to be investigated, which then revealed inappropriate material on his computer. This was, of course, after he made scandalous headlines for using a dating website for married people, ostensibly cheating on his wife Anna. Still, when the court case began, plenty of people still supported Josh Duggar. Various family members and friends of Josh Duggar wrote personal letters to the judge to support him. His mom Michelle's later was quoted in many headlines. Her letter called Joshua tender and compassionate and didn't seem to address his crimes at all. Other letters in support of Josh suggested that many people were willing to blindly stand behind him, despite all he has been convicted of as well as rumored to have done. His wife Anna's letter recapped the pair's relationship and asked for the judge to consider reuniting the family soon. Other letters talked about Josh's altruism, with a former neighbor from their hometown saying he assisted people financially. Someone from the Duggars' church, also Josh's brother-in-law, also talked about his financial contributions to a needy widow and said that Josh lives his life knowing that he will give an account someday to God for the choices and decisions he makes. Anna's father also asked for mercy for Josh, saying he was gentle, kind, and polite. The person Josh lived with during his trial, since he wasn't permitted to be around his own children, observed that Josh displayed a great amount of patience and kindness as he interacted with his wife and children. Not all of the contents of the personal letters were revealed in publicly available court documents, however, and some records may never be released. According to a news article about the personal letters and other testimony from Josh Duggar's court case, the prosection's pre-sentencing report featured a witness statement. That witness statement was sealed by the court, but part of the lengthy paperwork included one particular statement that didn't earn much attention. Based on the contents of the statement, it appears that it comes from a parent whose child was featured in the inappropriate material Duggar possessed, and, the court conviction assumes, viewed. The parent wrote, "I can find no words to express the fury I feel at those who participate in this evil, or my scorn for any attempt to minimize the responsibility by feeble claims that the crime was victimless. My daughter is a real person. She was horribly victimized to provide this source of entertainment. She is exploited anew each and every time an image of her suffering is copied, traded, or sold." In a heartbreaking twist, the apparently young child contributed her own statement for the case and was quoted as saying, "Don't you know no one should do that to a little girl? Don't you know it hurts?"